Hey, everybody. Welcome to the James and Delilah show this afternoon. We are so super excited. This is our first live show. So I hope you guys are just enjoying this and gonna be asking lots of questions. We have some phenomenal product creators here with us today. James, you want to tell us what we got going on?
Oh my gosh, this is going to be fantastic. Wait till you actually see what's going on. What we're going to do is from now on, we're going to start having weekly live Google Hangouts. And we're going to bring on people, big time product creators out there. They're going to talk about, maybe we'll bring them on before their launch or after the launch. And before their launch, sometimes they're going to tell you how they're preparing for their launch, what maybe they're using Facebook retargeting, how they're getting affiliates. And then sometimes we'll have product creators that come in that talk about after the launch. We're going to ask them, why did this launch do so well, and what would you have done differently, and why was this the most stressful launch that you ever had? And that's the one that we're going to talk about today, really. So if we could, Ken, could you introduce yourself?
Of course. This is Ken. I'm James's brother and his partner in crime. I'm kidding. But at any rate, yeah, I'm very excited to be doing this as well. And we're calling this the Round Table. And the reason that we call it the Round Table is it's basically, as you can see right here, it's a select group of people that are considered the panelists that are going to be going over, as James just said, their different launches that they're going to be either coming up with shortly or they've already just got done with. And we're going to make these roundtables no more than about 20 to 30 minutes. And the good thing about that is it doesn't take a lot of your time to watch this, but secondly, it's not a lot of fluff or theory. It's going to be actual real-world content that you can take and use to apply to your own business to have success in being a product creator as well. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
Fantastic. And then also keep in mind that I may not be here during Market Mayhem, but Delilah and Ken and the rest of the panelists will be here. And we'll try to have these Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Bo?
Yes.
So can you tell me a little about you for about 30 seconds or less?
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. I'm also a product creator. I have launched about four products already. I think one of the best launches I have ever had was with Kevin Fahey, the interview with him. And I learned a lot of things about launching products and making them successful, so I'm ready to share these secrets with all of the watchers and listeners.
Fantastic. And then Nighty came off a crazy, insane launch. What he did was, I think he was like #1 in 3 minutes on Warrior Plus. That was amazing. So welcome to the show, Nighty.
Hey James, thanks for having me. I'm also a product creator, and my portfolio isn't as impressive as some of us on this panel, but I'm just hoping I can share some information with the audience.
Well, Nighty's being humble because he always does really well. I mean, he sells sometimes close to maybe 3,000 units or more a lot of times. So he's very, very good at product creating. So Reed, you're next.
Well, James, thanks for having me. My name's Reed Florine. I've had 9 #1 best-selling WSOs of the day in a row so far, and if all goes well, we'll hopefully have our 10th one here coming up.
No doubt about it. I'm going to be on promoting for that one. That Reed's, I mean, those launches he comes out, they always convert into a lot of sales for everybody out there, and he knows what he's doing. So, Nighty, I'm just going to come out and ask you. You just came off of a launch. I mean, you sold maybe close to 1,300 units so far, or more.
Yes, I think that there are the numbers. It's been 2 days now, and we have like I think 1,200 sales. It's called CPA Bitkraken, which is a product on CPA, and I teamed up with Jai and Sol.
Perfect. Why did you launch at 1 a.m. in the morning? I mean, we got up early in the morning to mail. I mean, plus you got me out of bed to do this. I mean, but why did you do this, and how did it work out for you?
Right. Well, it's one of our trade secrets. That's why. Anyways, it's because we find that Warrior Plus refreshes its stats and its leaderboards at 1 a.m. or something close to that, or even 1 or 2 a.m. And we found that giving it the maximum exposure for the day really works in terms of being considered as WSO of the day, and also you get to hit different time zones.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Reed?
Yeah, basically how Warrior Plus works is everything resets at 12 Central Time, which is an hour behind Eastern Time. So that would be 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yes, Nate's right. It does reset at that time. So I would see, that would definitely give you an edge for being number one for the day, since you'd be the first product getting promoted off the gate for a lot of people. So I can definitely see where that strategy would work.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also with the 5-hour time difference, and say for instance, let's say England, there are 5 hours. So for instance, like right now, it's 6 p.m. because it's 1 p.m. here in Eastern Standard Time, so it's 6 p.m. there. So you have to always think about. You have a lot of people in Europe that are up and they've already started their day, even though we're sleeping in bed in the United States. So I can see also that made a lot of sense. We would have done probably much better had AOeber not throttled the emails on that day, and all the emails ended up showing up maybe 4 or 5 hours late. But at least we were able to get into AOL and all these other different email providers such as Yahoo. Mainly Gmail was the one that was being throttled with AOeber, so that was the issue there. But one thing I was going to ask you, Nighty, $4.95, the $4.95 special. I guess that also did help quite a bit because you said, hey, by 9 a.m. it's going to go up to $7, and obviously that did help quite a bit as well. Correct?
Yes, early birds are really, really effective as almost as much as cart closes. I've found that because obviously scarcity works amazing, especially real scarcity. Okay, you gotta make sure it's real, and people hate to miss out on a good deal, and they're just gonna jump on it.
Well, let me ask you, obviously price point is important, but not only for your customers, but also for your affiliates that are mailing for you. And yeah, I do understand that they get 100% commission, but it's $5. But obviously, I guess the main thing is you're trying to use that tripwire approach in order to get somebody to purchase that OTO where the real money is being made. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Because once someone becomes a customer, he or she is much more likely to purchase from you again. So what we're trying to do is to actually get more people into the funnel, and obviously more people will get to see the one-time offers and purchase them. In some cases, the EPCs may be higher if you price it a bit higher, and it all comes down to EPCs. So it's all about testing, and this is what we found works quite well.
Right. Delilah?
Yeah, I have a question, and obviously any of you won't answer this, but especially Naughty. Yeah, I'm still wondering where Saul is because y'all are in this together, but that would be great. But all right, as far I'm still a bit of a newbie in this, so as far as building up, how long did you promote in advance, or any of you promote in advance, working towards getting JVs to promote for you? Because that's where a lot of it also comes from. You've got to have those partners and those relationships because to be able to send it out email for you, which is part of what makes it such a successful launch.
I think that's a good idea. Let's take that question one-on-one, like each person, and we'll talk about that. Because Reed has something different, I do, and all of us do. What do you say, Nighty?
Well, many people have different approaches. Some people like to have plenty of launches in a month. Some people even have 3 launches in a month, and they have very little. They give very little notice to their JV partners, and that works sometimes if the offer converts, and especially on Warrior Plus, where a lot of people are accustomed to, their mailing frequency is very high, and people are looking to mail something every day. So it works as well, and the launches add up. Personally, I like to do fewer launches, but that brings higher sales figures. So, for example, I would prepare. I would have everything ready in 2 weeks in advance, and then I will give the sales page preview. I will give the review copies to affiliates to at least 2 weeks in advance, so they can mark their calendars, and you get a surge of traffic on launch day, and it's a snowball effect from there.
Perfect.
Okay. Reed?
I would agree. The longer heads up that you have for your partners, the more people are going to be on board, the more people will have a clear calendar, and they'll be able to promote for you. That being said, almost all of my launches lately, I've been giving people about a week or so notice. The one that I'm doing on Friday, the March 20th, I'm giving people more time than normal. But pretty much I was doing a launch, it would end, the next one would start up in a few days. So it really, and it boils down. I mean, I've been doing internet marketing since 1999, so I know a lot of people. A lot of people know me. I'm able to use those relationships. If you're someone brand new, you're going to need more time to work those relationships, maybe go to some events, build some rapport, and have some credibility in the marketplace before you can just go out there and do a launch, and not give people any heads up. That being said, if you've got more time, if you give people like a month or a couple weeks heads up notice, you're going to have more people that can come on and promote your products and services that way.
Okay.
Perfect.
And Bo, what's your take on it? How long do you promote for, if any?
I totally agree with Reed that it's very, very important what relationships you have with your JV partners. So if you are a longer time in the business, you have many JVs, so you can tell them about your launch. Two weeks are enough, I think. But if you are new in this market, maybe one or more month is a good starting point to promote your launch.
All right.
All right, then what I usually do is Ken and I and all our partners, we decided to revamp this and change our strategy. What we're doing now is I'm making sure that our sales pages are done now, because I know a lot of people, especially affiliates, it drives them crazy when they can't get their sales page, they can't get a review copy. They're like, see, a lot of people, they don't understand that how hard it is to get a launch out there, and they're screaming for that sales page. I mean, when you're launching regularly, it is pretty tough to get a sales page out there because you want it perfect. And if it's not perfect, it's not going to convert. So I understand that, but what I want to try to do now, and we're going to do for our team, is we're going to create our sales page first. We're going to create our review copy. Right, Ken?
Yeah, definitely. Because that's one thing is, obviously, if you're going to be launching quite regularly, you want to have basically like a checklist and a calendar of all the things you want to have done before you launch and on a regular basis. And as James was saying, you don't want to be flying by the seat of your pants and looking unprofessional when a potential JV asks you, hey, do you have your sales page? You want to say, sure, here it is. So we're saying that before we even post it on Muncheye, we're going to have everything done, and and also we're building a huge team now. We've got one guy that does copywriting, we've got one guy that does our sales pages, we have another person that's doing our membership sites, so we can just really.
We have like 12 people on our team now.
Yeah,
so
but we can crank, because last year we were launching every week, and boy, it was great money, but it was a lot of work, and. It's sometimes you have the different ways to look at it. Is one way, okay, yes, if you go ahead and you launch every single week, well, what's that going to do for you? It's going to put money in your pocket, but secondly, it's going to help build you a big list. But at the same time, you're launching every week, and then you're going back to your affiliates and saying, hey, you going to mail for me? You going to mail for me? And everybody's like, we just got done mailing for you last week. You got another product? Oh my gosh,
But I would say
need to mail for other people beyond you.
10 days is good. Every 10 days, but
every 10 days is it's a good strategy. But that's just one thing that we have committed ourselves to, is making sure we have all our ducks in a row before we commit ourselves to something. And this business is very easy business to do. I say I could take somebody in 6 months' time and basically turn them into a guru. It's that fast on the internet. Things work very fast. As Reed said, he's been doing internet marketing since 1999. We've been doing it since '98 with Sunglass Warehouse, our very first website ever. But the whole entire thing is that you have, on the other hand, Delilah, who's pretty much new in this industry, and yet she's going to be somebody really big. But it's really about making sure you have everything in a row, and of course, quality versus quantity. You want to put out quality stuff so that you have repeat customers as well. You don't want to just be rushing stuff out the door just to make a quick buck.
Saul, you're welcome to the show, man. So
Thanks
you had
so much.
So can you tell us what did you do good? What went well? And what would you have changed? What was stressful for you? Can you talk about that?
Thank you. We had such a wonderful launch. Sitting over 1,000 copies in 2 days, and the product was superb. And what I've learned, especially ladies on the call here, and I work as a team. So like you guys, I surround myself with a team. I'd rather share the success with a few chaps that we get on well with. I pick my partners very carefully because we spent hours and hours and hours on Skype together. But yeah, I mean, everything went, I must say, thank God, very smooth, and it was a wonderful experience because, like you were saying, our product was ready, and then we spent like a solid 2.5, 3 weeks promoting it, and that was the key.
Exactly. So what would you have done differently? What would you do if you had a crystal ball and you go back in the future? What would you do differently to actually improve on this launch and hopefully convert even better or push more sales or affiliates?
It's an interesting question. I mean, a lot of people, like we've been having offers now in the last few days to go to JV Zoo, and perhaps there could be bigger affiliates there, or perhaps there could be a bigger platform. But I'm happy that we were on Warrior Plus, and I must say, like we did really well. I guess what we could have improved was maybe we could have improved our one-time offers and made them slightly more succinct. Because what we did was between myself and Jai and Nady, we got 8 products of the day, so we were offering these at reduced prices, and we're also having a high ticket end webinar that we were just toying with 2 different people who are going to be holding it for us. So maybe that could have been sort of integrated, because JV Zoo does allow automatic sign-ups and Warrior Forum doesn't. So we are communicating with our list. I think that's one thing we could have done better, was to have that in place. But that was out of our hand, because one of the top chaps that was on board suddenly went AWOL. So we've got a backup plan. But I think it makes a big difference if people can be automatically signed up for that webinar, because
Reed,
to communicate you can maybe lose a few leads that way.
There is a way now to integrate with GoToWebinar Warrior Plus. I'll show you later after the call, so how to do it. So they do have that option now.
Then Saul, I was going to ask you a quick question. There's in the beginning, and I'm just going to be honest, there was a time that I wasn't even promoting for anything on Warrior Plus, but a lot of people on Warrior Forum or Warrior Plus will only promote for stuff on Warrior Plus or Warrior Forum, and then some people on JV Zoo will only promote for JV Zoo stuff. I'm pretty much solid on JV Zoo. What about actually next time maybe hitting both ends, maybe going with Zoo and Warrior Plus? Maybe you can get a bigger audience of affiliates.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Nady suggested that, and we do have a launch planned with our same team in the second week of April. So we are going to try that out. We've already been discussing that.
Nice. And then Reed, you go to a lot of events, and I'm going to start going to a lot of events myself. How does that help you get with the relationships and the bonds? I know there's one coming, Market Mayhem, the 19th. I mean, because you're a big time, you go to a lot of events, and you speak a lot too there.
Yeah, events are wonderful. I mean, my business completely transformed when I started going to events. So I've been marketing online since '99, but I didn't start going to internet marketing seminars. I'd been to like some network marketing things, but internet marketing seminars until 2006. Well, actually 2005 was the first one I went to. And when I did that, I was able to network with hundreds of people just in a room and share business cards and get to know them. And I was too young, so I couldn't buy people drinks, but I was buying people, food, and people bought me milk and cookies at a few places sometimes. But it was kind of fun. But I mean, really, it's all about getting to know other people and networking with others, because this is a relationship-based business. I mean, everyone on this call right now that's a panelist. We're all friends with each other. We're business partners with each other. We promote each other. We all grow together, and it's all due to relationships. I know a few of us have met in person at live events before. A few of us, I've only had the pleasure of talking on like Skype and Google Hangouts and Facebook and stuff like that. But a live event, being able to really, press the flesh with someone, shake someone's hand, get to know them on a more intimate level. I mean, I've done events where I've been to an event and I've gone to like a zoo afterwards with people at the event, or we've gone out to an expensive dinner, or we've gone night clubbing, or we've done all sorts of fun activities. I've ended up going to people's weddings that were other marketers, and we've gone on a lot of vacations together, and it's all due to relationships that I've had going to events. And there's no really fast way of building relationships other than going to events, because you can go to an event and you could meet 100 people in a weekend, or you could really focus on 10 core people in that weekend and really get to know them. And that's one of the fastest ways to get to know a lot of people. Now, of course, you can go to webinars and hangouts like this, and you kind of get to know us on a more intimate level, and you can network. I mean, I suggest everyone who's on here, if you resonated with something that one of us said, reach out to us. You know, find us on Facebook, find our email, connect with us on a more personal level. I mean, there's like 8 of us here. You can reach a lot of people and get to know them quite well just by reaching out and connecting, just saying hi and saying something that you liked about what we're doing. Another way, a great way to connect with people is, let's say you're building a really targeted email list. Start promoting our products. Start promoting those products. Make sales of our stuff. You're going to stand out, and you're going to build a really deep relationship with us because of that. We might even reciprocate with something that you have coming up. Another thing that's really good is, you know, if you get a product of ours and you really like it, give us a testimonial. I mean, video testimonials really stand out, but even if you can just write a paragraph or two of how our product has really helped you out, that's going to stand out, and we're going to remember you in the future, and that's going to be really beneficial to you when time comes on and you want to launch your own product and you want to build your own email list and start selling your own stuff. You know, if you're giving and you're creating testimonials for people, and you're trying to create value by making sales, putting food on our table, that's going to make you stand out, and we're going to be much more open to hearing about your JV.
Yeah, and I totally agree with Reed, because I'm planning on going to every one that I can go to. The next one I'm going is Market Mayhem. I think it's the 19th. I got my hotel room thing. But the reason is because Reed and I talked about this, is if you're not out there, you're not shaking hands, you're not creating relationships, this is how even partnerships are built and 6-figure launches. And it's just like you said, you know what, it's not just the parties, but it's the building those bonds and building the relationships. That way, when you do make a bond or friendship there, he's going to say, hey, James, you know what, I'd be glad to promote that for you. And something else may come out of a huge, where that you build a 6-figure launch. I mean, it happens every day. So I'm going to be going to everyone. I think I have like 3 or 4 this year, but the next one is the Mayhem, and that's going to be huge. So anybody else that's going to the Mayhem? I know that you are, Saul.
Yes, I'm going, and exactly what Reed was saying. I mean, it's such a great point, James. And you know, I've built such a good friendship with Reed. Is that, yeah? I mean, give before you get. Like, do a testimonial for someone and purchase their products and go through them, and it makes a huge difference. I mean, I've got my name out there very quickly by doing testimonials, and I also really enjoy going through products and learning every single day. And you know, so many times, like, people lack almost a bit of etiquette in terms of Facebook, or even spamming JV boards on Facebook. I mean, I know me personally, I see the JV boards, but I've never really actively gone and found something to promote on the JV boards, because I've got guys like you and Reed and Nady and Delilah and enough people to promote as it is. So I think that those JV boards on Facebook are quite interesting. I think they're almost there just to get your name out in the industry. But I personally do not go there to look for anything to promote, because I've got enough friends to promote and people that are like Reed. It's got products all the time, and you know, these sort of stuff. So it's quite an interesting debate, that, and I really don't believe that anything beats a personal friendship and a relationship that you formed with someone that you'd like to promote them, rather than, even if you can earn $150 EPC, that doesn't, for me personally, that doesn't come into consideration. I would rather promote someone that I like, and someone that is there in terms of a friendship and a bond going forward.
Fantastic. Reed, so what are you doing for your next launch? I see I think you're retargeting already. I wanted to find out exact, because this is going to be the next big one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Saul's saying about going to the Facebook boards. I don't necessarily look at those to find products to promote. I do sometimes find things that way, because when someone posts in one of those JV boards, you usually get a Facebook notification, and so you can see those, and you can click on that, and you can find out things that way. Now, I do a lot of retargeting with stuff, so if people go and maybe I've posted on a JV board, or I've sent out an email about a JV invite of mine, I usually have a retargeting pixel on my page, so I can have Facebook ads follow people around and remind them of my launch. So I've got a Facebook retargeting pixel right now on my launch going on. So every person who's hit the page, they're seeing it. So I've got my launch listed on sites like Muncheye and JV Notify Pro and Facebook groups, and I'm sending out emails and personally connecting with people. But if anyone lands on my page, they're also seeing they're going to start seeing Facebook ads because of the retargeting pixels, and so that is a great way to get a lot more people to remember about your launch, especially if you have like a long ramp up, because I still have a few weeks out before my launch happens. You're going to be seeing ads every single day from me about my launch, and so that kind of reminds you to hop on board and promote, and then I'll have ads that'll change a little bit once we're live to make sure that you're promoting and things like that. So that's a very effective strategy, and it's very inexpensive to do. If you don't have a retargeting audience, but let's say you have an email list, you can also upload what's called a custom audience of your JV subscribers. So let's say you did a product launch already and you didn't do retargeting pixels, but maybe you've got 100 JV partners or affiliates, you have their email addresses. You can upload that to Facebook and do ads just to those people on Facebook, and that's a very great strategy for pulling in JVs.
Delilah?
Yeah, all right. I want to ask about the JV page. What do you do special or anything particular for your JV page to make it sparkly and pretty, and those extra little touches to bring in added JVs? What makes yours stand out separately from somebody else's?
Ken?
Well, I would definitely say a video would be very important, prominently displayed at the very beginning of the page, because it's nothing like having somebody hear from the actual product creator about what it's about. And then what I would do, obviously, is if you have a contest, make sure that you state the terms of the contest. Make sure also that your funnel is very easy to understand. It's not a complicated funnel. And again, if it's 100% commissions up front, and say you're giving $5,000 away for contest prizes, make sure you spell all that out, put it right near the top. Also show the potential amount that somebody could make per click or per sale if they were to have somebody go all the way through the funnel. Those things are very important as well.
Okay, Reed.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things. Usually, for me, I've got like my pages are kind of ugly. My JV invite pages are ugly. I think everyone will agree. I probably have the ugliest pages on the call. I've got like an attention-grabbing headline. I talk about when the launch is coming up. I usually put a video. I kind of introduce what the product is, who it's aimed for, so you know which list segment to hit up. I highly encourage people to really segment their lists and only hit up certain offers for certain segments of their lists. They're going to make a lot more sales and be able to reciprocate with a lot more partners that way. They're going to have a lot less unsubscribes too with that. Then I usually talk about what's in the product, the kind of the funnel. So what the upsells are, the kind of commissions they can make, what the contest prizes are. I usually talk about like a track record that I have, so I'll share all my WSOs of the day and how they went. I'll talk about some conversion data if I have that, so how the products are selling. I usually put in sometimes I put in like pictures of people who've promoted me. So some of my top promoters, I put their picture and name, so people go, oh, I'm friends with that person. I can ask them about Reed and see if that's someone that if I want to promote his stuff, does he create good products? I don't know. I'll sometimes you can reach out to people that way because of putting up the pictures. It's a lot of social proof. Another thing you can do is if you have testimonials. So if you have JV partners that have said, hey, I made $3 per click promoting your product. It was the best promotion I had all week. If you have testimonials like that, feel free to use those on your JV invite page. That's a great way to get people to know, like, and trust you even more. You can put like a sales page preview on there. You can tell people where to go to get a review copy. I highly encourage you to put like your phone number and your Skype and email so people can reach out to you. Your JV partners can send you tens, if not hundreds, even thousands of sales depending on who's promoting. And if you make it easy for them to contact you, you make it easy for them to promote. Make sure you write email swipes at least. Sometimes I put banners up for stuff, but at least do email swipes. You can get people to sign up for your JV list to ask people to sign up for your JV list so they're eligible for prizes. Maybe give them a commission bump, and give them email swipes and other promo tools, and that you can hide behind a JV sign-up button, so they'll get on just a JV invite list. Now, don't send any offers to that JV invite list. That JV invite list is worth gold, and you want to treat them really well, and maybe give them some tips about JVing and affiliate promotions and stuff like that. But never try to sell anything to those JVs. Just try to get them on board for your next launches, and you might even reciprocate with some of your bigger partners and say, hey, there's this other launch coming out. You can send some people that way, and that's a great way to kind of cross-promote, cross-pollinate your JV list by saying, hey, I'll promote your JV invite if you promote my JV invite. So that's a little secret tip that you don't see very many people do, but a lot of the really big launches do that.
Fantastic. Saul?
Yes, I think exactly what you guys have said. As Ken said, a video is great, so they see who you are, explaining when the launch is, and maybe a little bit about the product. I always like to have a picture of the funnel, and I like what Reed says is minimum should be swipes and a few different swipes. I like to have maybe a pre-swipe and a launch swipe and a post-swipe, so that people always like a bit of work that's done for them already. And yes, I like what Reed does actually, which is it's just great to see his cell phone numbers there and his Skype. I put my Skype, I don't put my cell phone number, but it makes people feel that you are more approachable. And yeah, I've seen people like we had pictures of previous big promoters, so the social proof once again is there. One big point I'd like to make: I've seen people force you to almost opt into to get all the resources, and that for me is a big no-no. I would, if someone wants to opt in and join your announcement list, that's great, but don't force someone to opt in order to get them all of these tools. Make it available there, and to have to have an opt-in possibility so they can keep up to date with the competition, etc. Give that as an option, but don't force people to opt in before they can get their affiliate link and get these tools, because some people don't like to opt into those lists. So don't put a barrier in people's way, that's for sure.
Right, Ken?
Yeah, and I really have to say I like what Reed was saying about how he provides his contact information as well, because the phone number, the Skype, it's not saying somebody's actually going to contact you, but it's saying, hey, I'm a real person, I'm not some shady character putting out a product and I'm just looking to make a quick buck. And you got to remember, a lot of people, of course, as we all do, we really want to protect our list. So you got to think about it from their point of view. They're saying, hey, if I'm going to mail for you and I'm going to send my people to you, I'm going to basically get my seal of approval on this product. Are you going to take care of my customers? Or are they going to get a slew of support tickets and refunds, and it's going to look bad on me? But another thing with regards to JV Page is that James always stresses to me, because I'm always kind of more of a perfectionist, but I have to remember Facebook's slogan is done is better than perfect. But James always says, just make sure that the JV link is prominently displayed, because a lot of times we know certain marketers such as Reed, we're always promoting him because we love his products. We're like, just where's the JV link? So that's one of the things that we don't really need to read all that copy, because we know that he puts out excellent stuff.
Well, it's not that. What I was going to say is that certain people, such as Reed, you're going to do really good with it. His stuff converts. I mean, and just like Reed says, it's not always the prettiest, but it does the job. I mean, we get on his leaderboard sometimes #1 quickly. Well, because he knows what he's doing. The sales page does well. I still do not know the secret of why it's doing that, but it just converts like wildfire. And I'm going to ask you, Reed, I'm going to be straight off. It's not always the prettiest sales page, but why is it converting like crazy?
My pages are ugly. They're just really ugly. I have the ugliest pages probably in the whole industry. I don't
it converts.
know.
It makes us money.
I don't know why. Honestly, I think it's because I usually have a ton of testimonials. I think on my last one we had like 40 testimonials before people even were able to read the letter. So they had the headline, and then there were 40 testimonials before they even got to say, "Dear friend, my name's Reed Florine." It's like when you have that much social proof, and you can share that. I could probably just put a buy button underneath the testimonials, and people would buy. Really, social proof is what sells your products online. You need social proof. You need endorsements. When you have JV partners doing endorsements, like for instance, James and Saul, you've both done like video interviews with me for products and done incredibly well with those video interviews. That is definitely way better than just sending out an email about a product. When you can pre-sell stuff and you can pre-frame a product by doing an interview, you can make a ton of sales doing that. It builds a great relationship with the JV partner who is more than likely going to support you in your upcoming launches. It makes you a lot more sales. It builds a great relationship with your email list. Doing these interviews and getting people to really know, like, and trust you doing that. Now, basically what I want to say is when you have an email list and you're sending out an affiliate offer, you're sending out for a JV, it's really endorsed traffic, so it's going to convert higher than, say, banner ads or Facebook ads or other even like YouTube ads or things like that, because people have a relationship with the email list owner. If they've been on your list a while and maybe you send out really great content, or you do interviews, or you do bonuses or things like that to get people to know, like, and trust you and really follow you, you're going to make a lot more sales, and you're going to convert at a higher rate than just, say, someone landed on a blog or they saw a banner ad for a product. And that's really what makes a lot of sales for an information product.
Nice. I mean, testimonials are really the key. Anybody else has anything else to say, or
well,
we'll just?
I have to agree with Reed with regards to the sales pages, and that's one thing. We've worked with. We're actually taking coaching from Dr. Ben, as well as Don Wilson and such, on sales pages. And one thing they always state is try to avoid a lot of your graphics unless it's integral to what you're actually selling. So even if you look at, for instance, later on, look at your convenience, the CPA Vid Kraken sales page, it was very well done in the sense that there's not a lot of images on there except for video testimonials, as Reed was speaking about, and there's not a it's mainly just a very logical sales page. And another thing that I loved about it this time is it was mobile friendly. That's a big key for me. So if because obviously if you send out and the sales page can't come up, it comes up all distorted, you can't see it on your phone. I'm going to make a mental note if I was a customer to purchase this later, but by the time I get around to it, I forgot. I get home and all these things happen, and I say, oh crap, oh well. I don't even remember what I was going to buy, but I knew it was something.
Well,
and I think Dr. Bill wanted to add something. I'm sorry.
I appreciate you saying that, and exactly what Reed said. We had 15 video testimonials and 2 written testimonials, exactly what you're saying. And yes, I mean, we did design it on purpose and that's what Nady said, please make sure that it is mobile friendly, because most people are seeing it, especially even for the first time, usually on their mobile. Maybe they'll come back to their computer to buy. And exactly what you said is that, you don't need flashing graphics and all fancy stuff to sell. It's just that we had it very simple. And those testimonials, those 15 video testimonials, I got those together in a couple of days. And it's amazing to think, even for myself, is that 5 months ago I really did not know one person in the industry. That's when I joined. And exactly what we've said earlier is that all of those testimonials have come because I've given so much first, and then people are happy to help you at a later stage, and also because of the partners that I was involved with. But it's a wonderful feeling to be able to send out for people requests and get the video testimonials back. And so many people remarked that it was a great sales letter. In the past, my last 2 launches, we actually outsourced the sales page, but we did this one internally between the team. We did it ourselves. So thank you for saying that. I do appreciate it. And we had the proof, we had the testimonials, and a lot of effort went into that page, a lot.
Yeah, and it wasn't big proof. It was $65. But you know what? That's something that people could wrap their heads around a lot of times. Is $65 or $300. You put $10,000. Some people, as James and I always say, hits the BS meter. And even though you really did make 10 grand, people say, I can't see myself doing that. I can see myself making $300, $65, but not 10 grand, and it's to their detriment. But
Nady will tell you, and that's also the point I was making earlier, and I just want to drive that home. That point again, Ken, is that it's so important also to pick your partners carefully, because I can tell you over the last 10 days, without exaggerating, we've spent over 100 hours together on Skype, and we really, we laugh but we work so hard, and the money will follow as long as you're working with people that you also enjoy working with, and we've got 100% trust. I mean, these guys are, because it was my name on Warrior Plus, but my team, they've got like my PayPal login, they've got my W Plus login, they've even got my GetResponse login details. So I trust these guys 100%. So it comes down to picking your partner so carefully, because we've spent so much time together, and it is 100% pure trust that, to let your partners have your PayPal login. I'm saying it's a lot of trust goes into that, and if you just offer the money, I don't believe that will come through, and you wouldn't be able to have the synergy that we've got. And now we're even getting busy on our next project together, and it's like, you spend more time with these guys than you do with anyone else. So if you enjoy the people that you work with, it definitely makes the job so much easier.
Delilah?
Okay. Want to ask Dr. Bo, you had something to add to that, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's something different. I totally agree with what said Reed and Paul and and everybody else. But I was thinking about a mistake which I made and which cost me a lot of money, and I think it's very, very important tip, which everybody should know about if they want to make a big launch and have a bigger names promoting their product. So my idea was to when I started and I launched my first product was to automatically approve all affiliates, because my main idea was that more affiliates means more money, but that was my mistake. So my lesson from all this was that it's very important when you launch your product to set up your affiliates to manual approval, and to approve mainly people who you know, who you trust, because as far as I know, there are some people with big lists who watch these EPCs, and if they see that the EPC is very good, they will join you. But if you decide to give permission to everyone to promote for you, sometimes this is a big mistake. So my ideas and my lesson from this bad launch was to start with my friends in the JV relationships, and after that to give the option and opportunity to everybody else to promote for me. So
That's a good point, because you got to remember, a big list doesn't always equal a great affiliate. I mean,
absolutely.
if the list isn't meant for your product, they can trash your EPC.
Well, let me give you an example. A boss, he's one of my best friends, and this guy has like a 200 list, and he got #1 on our leaderboard with a 200. I mean, I made sure that secret if a boss is
86% conversions.
Yeah, 86% conversions. Enabled #1 on the leaderboard. It was 200, and I'm gonna tell you, I got to get him on the show one of these times if he wants to divulge of how he did it. But it was amazing. He just rocked it. I mean, 200. Reed, don't you think that's crazy?
That's wild. What was he doing? Did he have like a big bonus, or?
I can't. I'll divulge that information next time if he's cool with me saying it, because it was said in a private conversation, which I'm going to start doing. So I'm ready to rock your leaderboard next, Reed, with that information. But I'm going to tell you, I'll try to get him on here and let him talk about himself if he's cool with that. Because if anybody tells me something in confidence, I try to keep it. But I think he may tell everybody if I can persuade him.
We can help.
Guys, we are having a great time here. We need to start wrapping it up, so we're going to go down the line. Everybody give us like your last moment spiel, whatever you got to put out there. All right, so let's start with, well, Saul, you were just speaking. Let's give us your ending statements. What do you got for us?
Good. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, and you guys have been great to me, and yeah, I really appreciate it. And for anyone that's watching, just know that you can achieve it too. Here, a young South African guy 5 months ago, as I said, I hadn't made $1 and I didn't know anyone, and it is 100% doable. And thanks to guys like Reed and James and Nadi and Doctor, I read your product as well. I really enjoyed that, and it's, if you believe in yourself, you can definitely achieve it. Thanks so much.
Reed, what you got for us?
Well, I mean, anyone who's on this call learned a lot of secrets about, launching a product and doing JVs. I mean, what Dr. Bo just shared about not approving affiliates right away is solid gold. I'll share just real briefly kind of how I get a launch to get going right away. I do what's called an early bird notification list, and I get my subscribers and customers on that. I'll do some paid advertising for that, and I'll get my list on board for that, so they'll sign up to get on an early bird notification list. It'll say something to the effect of, join the early bird list to be the first one notified when product X goes live, and it'll be product X will be whatever the product name is, and they'll just enter in their email address. Now, I can have affiliates promote that page, I can promote that page, I can do paid advertising to that page. That creates an early bird list of maybe a couple hundred or a couple thousand people or even more, depending on how much traffic you're sending to that page, and you can drive a lot of sales initially right off the gate to your early bird list. Now, what I'll do is I'll have a launch go live about 15 minutes or so early, and I'll hit up with just the early bird list, and you can make 25, 50, 100 sales right away. And then once you have that and your EPCs are really high, then you can start opening it up for all the other affiliates. Have your auto-approved affiliates can start mailing right away. Your any of those pending people, once you have maybe 50 or 100 sales out there, start letting them promote. And when you do that, your EPCs, earnings per click, for those that aren't as familiar with the terminology here, that might go down a little bit, but you're going to have so many more affiliates promoting, and you can really open the floodgates up to more traffic. But I would not let anyone that isn't like a real good friend of yours, or anyone that doesn't have just a buyer's list promoting, I wouldn't have them promote until you have at least 100 sales on Warrior Plus or JVZoo, just because it's going to have a major effect on your earnings per click, and that's a big factor in selecting your product for product of the day.
Fantastic. I like that. That is awesome. Thank you so much for telling us that. All right, Nadi, what do you have for us?
Yeah, I completely agree with Reed there. One cool way to do it is actually to run a free Warrior special offer, but now they don't actually allow free offers anymore. You have to do it in the classified as section, but you can still do it. I mean, on the forum itself, you can build a early bird list there, because there isn't much technical skills involved there. You just have to post the thread, and that's it. You don't have to deal with all those technical stuff. And I also agree with what Dr. Bill said. Is you have to be vigilant when you are approving affiliates, so that it don't mess up EPCs and stuff. But on the flip side, you don't want to go too crazy about this. I know it's like it's a trivial thing, and I know most people won't do this. But when I started, I saw that JVZoo said, don't approve anyone that you don't know. And at that time, I didn't know who were the big guys, and Stephen Gilbert and Bill Platt and Todd Gross signed up at the same time, and I put them all on delay. And I know nobody's gonna do that, but just a side stuff.
Yeah, Nadi, that is wonderful. And the one thing that I love, that you and I are both still pretty new, but I found out that is actually great for us, because we don't know who to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
We're not intimidated. We don't have to speak, and it actually works out great. So just keep it that way. All right, Dr. Bo.
Okay. Thank you for having me here. So I was thinking about something which also costs me a lot of money, because I want really to give a lot of value to all of the watchers here, and of course listeners. So my main idea was to test everything before I start sending traffic, because in my first launch, that was another mistake. I wasn't tested everything else. So some of my subscribers sent me an email that the buyer link was not working. After that, another subscriber told me that the sales page is not working, and there was a problem with my domain name. And that was exactly at the time when the launch was starting. So that was a really bad mistake from my side. So definitely, if you decide to make a launch, test everything 100 times and then start.
All right. Hey, perfect advice. Yeah, because I messed up my funnel. James?
I was going to mention something. My good friend Anthony Aries, I wasn't going to all these events, and Anthony says to me, he says, "Look, James, you gotta go." He says the relationships that you build there are going to be. This is the number one thing that I'm doing for my business. I think that's taken me further than anything else, than even product launching. Is he explained to me that Anthony says you have to go to these events. I'm like, yeah, Anthony, I meet enough people really on the Google Hangouts. So I didn't really get this, configured in my brain until I started going to the events. And all of a sudden, I just started shaking hands. I started meeting people, and just like Reed says, we do these things right afterwards, maybe the zoo or whatever. Now you have a bond, but now the bond is a little bit different because if you talk to them on the computer, that's different. You talk to them on a Google Hangout, that's different. But it's basically sitting out, hanging out with them, and talking to them. That's taken my business majorly to the next level. So I'm going to tell you, really, my plan for this my goal for this year is to go to almost every event that's inside the States. I can't go to the UK, a little bit too far for me, but I'm going to go to every event. I mean, I'm going to hit the Mayhem. I think there's another one in May 15th, I think Marketing Profits, but I plan to hit that. By doing this, I feel like I'm going to take my business easily to 7 figures.
Well, also keep in mind, guys, if you can't physically travel to these events, make sure that you reach out to people via Facebook, whatever you have the means to do. I mean, if you don't have, perhaps monetary-wise, you can't afford it, or perhaps you can't leave your job for a period of time to go do this. And also, remember, don't be intimidated by any of these so-called gurus. I mean, I'm not meaning that in a bad way. I'm just saying, as everybody thinks, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so, I could never talk to them. Everybody's very friendly out there. Everybody's willing to help you. That's one thing we've always noticed, is that, as long as you're polite and normal. And one thing Reed said is, do a video testimonial. If you bought one of their products, that's going to go a long way with them, and it's going to definitely put you on their radar as well.
Definitely.
All right, everybody. I think we've got it covered for today. This was phenomenal. I mean, thank you so much. Everybody just come on this morning because we just decided on it this morning. So James, what last words you got here, brother?
You know what? I'm so appreciative to have everybody here, all my friends, from Saul to Reed to Nighty to Dr. Bo and Ken, my brother and partner, and Delilah. I'm just so grateful that we finally got this together. I mean, I was so busy with this huge project we're doing later on the end of March, but I just wanted to make sure that we did this because I think that it's going to add so much value in a lot of people's lives, and I am just so stunningly grateful for everybody here.
Yeah, I was going to tell you guys, I'm actually watching the comments. Nobody had any questions, but there are some great ones in here. Good content. Keep up the good questions where we're talking. Vincent Denali's telling us, I love the concept. I subscribed. I'll be tuning in. So there's already people in here. Juliet said, thanks for the invite. Looking forward to the training. Barry Anderson's in here. Tons of people in here watching. I mean, I think still going to be a little bit new for everybody doing this live, and once they get accustomed to it, be like, and our once a week, here we are.
How can they get to the recordings? Anybody that's missed it, how can they get to the recording, or where are we going to place this recording for everybody later on?
It is the same YouTube link that I gave to everybody earlier.
Great, and then we'll put it on our personal pages, whoever wants to. I'll do it on my page, Delilah, and also put inside the groups that we're in.
Yeah, when we end the broadcast today, it will take YouTube 5 to 10 minutes to process the video, and then I will give the link out, the YouTube link out again to everybody in the same spot where the recording will be. So everybody will have access to it. Everybody on the panel, us, we'll send it out on pages. And all right, unless somebody's got something else, I'm going to sign us off here. Love everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions in the meantime, please hit us up. We're all on Facebook, wandering around, and we'll see you soon. All right? Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.